Welcome, everyone. This is Dr. Tim McGuinness. I'm the Managing Director of the Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams, SCARS, a government-registered crime victims assistance and crime prevention nonprofit organization based in Miami, Florida, and Monterrey, Nuevo Leon, Mexico, as well as with offices and affiliates and partners in more than 60 countries around the world. This special conversation is going to allow us to talk with individual scam victims. This is part of a series, so we will be presenting each individual interview, and it gives us an opportunity to talk to scam victims openly, candidly, full transparency. We will not be editing their commentary. We will be presenting it whole, unedited, and complete. What we're talking about today are three topics. The first is to try and get a better feel for the victims around the world, different countries and cultures, about their scam experience itself. We'll talk for a few minutes about that. Then we'll move on to their experience after the scam ended. What was that like for them individually, personally, and also in the context of the country or culture within which they live? And then lastly, to explore a little bit about the challenges of helping, supporting scam victims in different countries and cultures, the barriers that are in the way, the challenges, the opportunities, and to the extent that victims can find support services within those countries. Thank you for joining me today, Ms. Bulgaria. Greatly appreciate you taking the time to help share your story with us. And thank you for allowing us to record this and to be able to present it so that other victims will understand. So let's start with a first question. Can you tell us about your own personal experience during the scam? How it began, things that happened, and how it ultimately ended?
Okay, firstly, thank you for your invitation. I'm very glad to be a participant in this discussion here. It started in very interesting way. I received the invitation on my Facebook from a nice man. After that, I received a lot of likes on my professional pictures there. And after that, I accepted this friend's request. And the man started to explain that he is military surgeon in United Nations mission in Yemen, that he likes me very much. And you know, the traditional story that his wife is dead, that he has one son who must take care, and that he is in a process of finding a good woman, that he likes me very much. I accept that as a joke in the beginning, but I continue to communicate, and sometimes I felt that something is wrong, because looking at the picture, I saw a nice man. If he pretends that he is a military surgeon, it means that he must be intelligent man, but sometimes it was not in a good correspondence with the speech and what he said, and with his behavior. Anyway.
So in other words, the things that he was writing to you were not consistent, were not the kind of writing, phrasing, grammar that a professional doctor would use.
Yes, it was first suspicious. After that, okay, the first communication was in Messenger. After that, he started to press me, let's go to Hangouts, to WhatsApp. I didn't want, but finally I agreed to move our contacts in Skype. But before that, maybe some months, we communicated in Messenger. And after that, he stopped communicating that, deleted everything, and we moved to Skype. And then in this Skype, we started also speak by phone. And I hear some English with African accent. And I asked him, what is that? Oh, I was adopted by a lady from Netherlands. That is why my English with the sounding and the voice very young, very young. And I asked him, if you are a 45 years old man, it's not normally to have such voice. Anyway, we continue, and in one moment I understood that I'm manipulated by three persons, three scammers. 3 or 4 months or more, they didn't ask me for money. And I enjoyed myself having this joyful correspondence. Even I told my son, hey, you know, that somebody pretending that is a man from New York wanted to marry your mom. He immediately told me, check the profile, check the picture, because I'm sure that this is a fake profile. I didn't that at the moment. And later, during our communication with the scammers, they started to ask me for $100,000 because he wanted to leave the mission and to come to visit me in my country, to get married. And I became again suspicious. Of course, I haven't this money. I didn't believe in this story. After that, I decided to check the picture and putting the picture in the Google, I saw that this is the real Dr. Fernando Gomes Pinto, Brazilian doctor, you know, neurosurgeon from Sao Paulo, and I understood that this is one
So
of
the real face in the photo
the face.
was
Yes,
Gomez
yes,
Pinto, Dr. Gomez
yes.
Pinto from
Dr.
Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Dr. Fernando, the world famous because he's one of the most stolen faces in internet. I came into his professional Instagram and Facebook, and I understood that a lot of women wrote that they are victims of scamming by somebody using his picture and profile. So
this is about the point where the scam ended. Is that correct?
yes, yes, and that's why I decided to stop communicating, saying them that they use this profile, that they're scammers and other things. But one of them, I had one person who communicated very often with me, and one voice and one person who spoke with me by phone in the morning, in the night, and this was maybe the main communicator with me. And he told me, you know, they will want to block you because they are angry that you say that we are scammers. So I don't want to lose you. I want to keep you for myself. Let's move to WhatsApp because I want to continue my friendship with you. I was curious, what is that? But I understood that this is one trick which the scammers use when they confess that they scam you, but they want to be friends with you.
Exactly.
That they like you. Okay, and I moved to WhatsApp with this guy.
So what we need to do is, because of the time limit, we need to move on to the next question.
Okay, just want to say some words that speaking with these real people, looking at his face, he started to touch my heart strings, explaining the bad story of the baby which he had, the lack of money. I sent him some help, believing that really I helped. Till now, I didn't know if this is true or no, but anyway, this is continuation of the scammer.
So tell us a little bit about what the experience was like after you discovered that it really was a scam. You'd sent money, you had these feelings, and what happened when the realization really hit you that this was all absolutely a scam?
Yes.
Know enough in advance that that was not so hurtful for you? What was the experience in that period of a month or two right after the ending of the scam?
You know, I felt very angry because I was informed about this phenomena, but I was angry because I couldn't imagine how human beings from other nation can do this criminal experience and can manipulate by what other persons and make them victims. That's why I was very angry, because this manipulation is real and very disgusting, quite phenomena. So I went to the our specialized cyber crimes unit, and I tell them what I made as a phenomena in the internet, and they told me, wow, we cannot help you, because if you didn't give too much money, it's okay, because nobody can fight against the Nigerian mafia. You are victim of Nigerian scammers, so let's go to do, if you want, some preventive work, but we cannot do anything. Anyway, I reported through SCAR's link, the Skype link about the scammers. And after that, I decided that maybe I will be useful for the others if I understood more and more about the scamming process. And if I decide to write something, it will be good. And then I form my decision to write a book and to write my experience, to show to the people what is the real speech of the scammers, what are their methods, how they can prevent themselves, and that's all. And I think that I can be very grateful that I met you firstly before you to realize contact with me. You know, I observed so many materials, so many materials in internet, and I started to use scars, especially psychological scams. And I was so grateful and amazed that I can find such very competent information. First, that I was contacted by some people from other organizations, and also some people from South Africa, and I gave some interview, you know, about that. And after that, surprisingly, some women from abroad, including Bulgarian women living in abroad, they start to contact me to have conversation, to ask more information about this phenomena. And in that way, through my own experience, I was involved in this matter. And I'm very thankful that you invited me to join SCARS, because this is a real great experience and I feel that I can be useful.
Thank you. Now, let's talk a little bit about what could be done to make it easier for victims in Bulgaria. Easier to report to the police, easier to find help. Now, I know that you are a psychologist yourself, and I thank you for your comments about the of the work that we do on the psychology of scams, etc. But what could be done in your country, and for people in that region to better help and support them?
You know, I'm very sad about the situation in Bulgaria, because for the period of 3 years, I saw only four news in the TV about cases of scam. Firstly, I didn't believe that Bulgarian women can become a victim, because we stay very strong on the ground. Bulgarian women don't have so much money. But what happens after that, I start to understand that many women came into scamming because they're lonely. They go to the websites, dating websites, they follow their dream to get married to some foreign man, and when they see some general from the army, they start to believe that this is their happiness. Even ladies over 70 living here or abroad, and now they believe that these persons are real officers from United Nations, and they started to write lessons and to complaints to United Nations, believing that this organization will help them to solve the problem. What is needed to be done here? You know, This is prevention, awareness, knowledge, because sometimes the victim don't believe that this is true. And that is why after some let's say interview participation in some media, in TV, I started to receive a lot of calls from women because they stay without knowing what to do. They were victims, nobody helped them. They didn't know the truth, if this is a scammer or real man. And after that, I formed some messenger group with the queens when I started to work with some women. After that, another group very soon, romance scam. And I understood that really the women in Bulgaria, they need information. They need preliminary information in order not to believe and to be involved in this fake speech, fake generals, fake military surgeons or doctors. And
of course, you know that all of our SCAR's websites do have Bulgarian translations. So if they don't speak English, they can go to the website, click on the translate button, and it'll translate it into.
Yes, all the time. I told them, you know, Dr. Tim, what I'm very angry because Bulgarian women, and maybe this is typical for Bulgarian psychology, they don't like to receive knowledge. I told them, look at Bulgarian SCAR's page, look at Skype. But this is in English. Okay, you see, there is a part in Bulgarian. Yes, but it's too long, how to write that. They prefer to face-to-face to receive the information. The other bad thing is that Bulgarian victim will never speak before the camera. They will never speak to their family or other people about the experience, this shameful experience, because they are ashamed and they keep this trauma and this bad experience inside them and nothing happened. That is why they cannot recover successfully themselves, because they cannot explain and take out all this negative experience and emotions.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. Our time has come to an end. Thank you so much for the great information about your own experience and about the experience of Bulgarians in general. And I want to thank you for allowing us to record this. I think this will be very helpful.
I hope also.
All right. Thank you. I want to thank you for joining us today for this incredible interview and the insights and information about how scams work, the experience that victims face after the scam, and insights into ways in which both SCARS and society as a whole can make the process easier for victims and present better options for their emotional recovery after these events occur. This video is copyright 2022, Society of Citizens Against Relationship Scams, Inc. Thank you for joining us. For more information about SCARS, visit againstscams.org. To learn more about scams and scammers, visit romancescamsnow.com. If you're insisting on looking at scammer photos, visit scammerphotos.com. And of course, to report scams, report them to the Federal Trade Commission, to the FBI through ic3.gov, and on the SCARS portal, anyscam.com. Thank you for joining us today.